It's you and not a verse. This is the outro to the new album. Check it out. You're full moon in Aquarius, Sun in Leo, satisfied or unsatisfied / fulfilled or unfulfilled in your associations. Let's rock out, you dig? Recreation in progress. No question if they raise their arms yet.
Master harmonic success, masterpiece on the sonics increase.
My vitality, a feat, you can't compete.
Ring around the
Rose, in nose, on the toes, ballerina, commonplace for ether.
Heavy city, feel cold, dark, depressing, like call me to a session. To my spits and rages, electric ass, mommy. Seen itself out the body, experience trance. You can feel the energy
As I sever sensibly, you cannot wait to see all that I could be. My ancestry is in the past, you'll see.
Seven disconnected,
You racist fools die eventually. Talking in our melanin, spiritually. Show you more than two eyes could see. Earth cry for me, regress, requiem, recreation in progress. No question if they raise their arms yet. Shout out to Easter Pink, you know what I'm saying? Long live. And shout out to homie Dirty Sanchez, you know what I'm saying? Recreation in progress. No question if they raise their arms yet.
allow me
To invest.
No institution.
We place pollution, population control. This is what the tragedy's happening for. I represent 5%. It's the outro on the album, you know what I'm saying? Recreation in progress. No question if they raise their arms yet. Earth cry for me, regress, requiem, recreation in progress. No question if they raise their arms yet. Shout out Shadow on the beat, yeah.
Young baby wipe on your ass, bitch. Who's a
Have not has been.
ass?
Yeah. Get him Pink.
Yo, soul bird mode.
Like Disco Inferno.
Dante flow.
Bombay with bird hoes.
Movies I fuck when I was broke. Shit.
I was rolling up the finest gold. Recreation in progress. No question if they raise their arms yet. Earth cry for me, regress, requiem, recreation in progress. No question if they raise their arms yet. When I was broke, the only thing I did. Pump it up, Scotty Pippen your feet. Spit vernacular disease and take you higher than the seas. Bronze codeine, rose quartz, and gold denim. Middle-minded, promiscuous. That's not what the issue is. They finna die from their local blood. It's like a gang of pubs. Like you know it's a G. Rhythm of a natural fiend. In off them trees, rhythm beats. Lyrical massaging your feet. Yeah, they look good, they look fine. I got the moles in the cut, and they look like a dime. Recreation in progress. No question if they raise their arms yet. Salute Easter Pink, man. Long live. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Sam. Recreation in progress. No question if they raise their arms yet. Whipping up in the pot at 6 o'clock on the dot. Yeah. Stoppable man, impossible to ever come close. Dirty Sandman. Still doing nothing. Sitting on the spot, Maxi. Damn. I don't know, they call me Captain I, and I'm chilling in the spot, beast coasting, floating, overflowing with flows potent. I'm telling you, I'm still underground. NYC, my brain still thinking corrupt. My heart telling me to keep pumping. Life, you gotta live it to the limit. God, please. Got to pave the way like a fucking construction. Did it before my flow erupted. Salute Dirty Sanchez, you know what I'm saying? No question if they raise their arms yet. Earth cry for me, regress, requiem, recreation in progress. No question if they raise their arms yet. Alright, so let's get into it. We got the full moon in Aquarius with the sun in Leo, right? So the full moon in Aquarius is either being satisfied or unsatisfied / fulfilled or unfulfilled in your associations. And keep in mind, we got the moon conjuncting Pluto, right? Whenever I'm saying, we just added the moon in Pisces, but I'm breaking down this full moon in Aquarius right now, right? So y'all can have a conception on this next shedding process. You know what I'm saying? We had the new moon in Leo, and then we also had the full moon in Aquarius at this point in time, right? So the full moon, conjuncted Pluto, right? So essentially it's going to be that deep and transformative change, essentially. And throughout this next 2 weeks, that's based on us having that full moon in Aquarius, right? And we also have the moon sextiling the North Node and Chiron, right? So a sextile is all about seeing the opportunity. Conjunction is all about having the same exact energy. So it's a little bit different, right? Sextile is a 60-degree angle, so seeing the opportunity. So based on the moon in Aquarius, we see the opportunity to, work towards our purpose, aka the North Node, which is in Aries, which is also another, way to say is individuality or our personality, based on Aries, right? Because Aries is the individual character. So essentially, the moon in Aquarius is seeing the opportunity to associate our character or individuality to actually be a part of our purpose. And then also Chiron in Aries is also seeing the opportunity with that moon in Aquarius. So we've seen the opportunity to actually work with our wounds, So Chiron is the wounded healer, because in that space of wounds, you tend to become more wise. So like, shout out to Fat Joe, I seen a post that he made about like, let your darkest times be your, your brightest light, to be able to actually comprehend, who's there by your side, so to speak. So like whenever you're being your true individual self and you're actually being in your own individuality, that lets you know who's actually in your corner, so to speak. Like the allegory of like you a boxer, and you got to see people in your corner to actually coach you on the right aspects and things of that nature. Perfect example of that. Because you can only be that one individual in the ring actually doing a thing. So moving forward, we have the moon square in Uranus, right? So the moon square in Uranus, based on this aspect, is going to be in a space where we're going to have to learn to ground our individuality, right? And associate our association of this grounding, in this aspect. So essentially, over these next 2 weeks, we're going to be in this shedding phase of seeing what do we actually need to shed based on our association to actually have the stage be properly performed, or properly perform on the stage. And then keep in mind, we're also going to be moving into the Virgo season here in a couple of days. So essentially, we're going to take action upon the details of, the stage that we just built and see, okay, is this actually a beneficial thing? Like, what do we actually need to shed over these next 2 weeks to then in turn create space to have new critique or new details on, our stage that we've already created, and then in turn, how can we harvest from this stage and things of that nature. And that's what the fall season is all about. It's all about the harvest. So keep that in mind. So like the springtime, you plant the seed, right? The summertime, you begin to bring the seed to life, right? And then the fall time, you harvest the seed, and then the winter time, you want to share those values, essentially. Then moving forward, we have the moon trining Mars, Jupiter, and Lilith, right? So Mars is in Gemini, Jupiter is in Gemini, and then Lilith is in Libra, right? So essentially, the trine is all about the gift. So the moon, based on us being in Pisces now, I'm going to go ahead and break down the moon in Pisces after this video. But essentially, since us having the base of the full moon in Aquarius, right, we're having the gift. We had the gift to have our creation of our intentions and passions be communicated essentially based on Mars and Gemini, right? And then the expansion upon these communication styles based on Jupiter and Gemini, and also experiencing what we've communicated and things of that nature. Then also Lilith being in Libra, right, is all about the darkest moment relating to our darkest moment, or having the gift to relate to our darkest moment based on the moon in Aquarius. So our association gives us the gift to relate, right? Moving forward, we had the moon in conjunct Venus, right? So the in conjunction is all about a misunderstanding. So essentially, based on this association, we're going to be in a space of over this next 2 weeks to seeing like, okay, do these associates actually benefit me? Can I actually value them? Whenever I look at the real details of things, can I actually value these associates and or these associations that I felt comfortable with? And keep in mind, like I say, the full moon is all about your satisfaction. So are you satisfied with what you're associated with on the higher octave, or are you unsatisfied with what you're associated with on the lower octave? And last but not least, we obviously had the moon opposing Mercury and the sun, right? So based on the moon opposing the sun, that's what creates that full moon, that 180-degree angle. And essentially the opposition is being able to add on or oppose. So essentially, if you felt satisfied, you were able to add on based on your association to the stage that you are taking action on. And then Mercury being thoughts, communication, and thinking, you know what I'm saying? We're able to add on to our thoughts and communication styles based on our association. So whoever you're associated with is essentially benefiting you or non-benefiting you. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to salute to Booty Sniper. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Kiana Fit, and shout out hopefully I'm saying your name right. Shout out to Allah Shek. You know what I'm saying? And salute to everybody that's international and things of that nature. Salute to everybody outside the U.S. and inside the U.S. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Old Dirty said. So, salute to everybody that listen to our music inside the U.S. and outside the U.S. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sagittarius, Old Dirty Bastard. But yeah, we go ahead and break down all the rising signs and how the rising signs are going to experience that full moon. And over these next 2 weeks, well, you can see how it's going to accumulate. So essentially, based on Aquarius being in the full moon and Aquarius being in the Aquarius rising first house and ascendant having that full moon participating in their first house, either one felt satisfied or unsatisfied with your personal affairs and what you associate with personally, right? So essentially, the Aquarius is either comfortable with oneself in their personal life or uncomfortable with their self in their personal life. And essentially, what you need to see to shed, I'm saying, to actually benefit oneself is like, what are aspects of oneself that you actually want to shed and see yourself, I'm saying, grow more and utilize. And whenever we have this new moon being in Virgo, you know what I'm saying? So over these next 2 weeks, you want to see, okay, what are these certain aspects whenever the moon transitions to these other spaces, and see where it could actually benefit from you shedding from certain aspects. Moving forward, the Capricorn rising first house and ascendant has Aquarius in the second house, right? And the second house is all about your values, right? And it's your values of a person, place, thing, or idea. So essentially, the Capricorn has felt satisfied with what they value in association, the people they associate with, the places they associate with, the ideas that they associate with. Or do you actually value them, and do you feel satisfied, or do you feel unsatisfied with these values? And are there certain aspects that you actually need to shed to actually create more space to see, okay, what are these new details I need to accumulate whenever the new moon comes around? Which is in Virgo, right? So essentially, Capricorn's going to utilize this aspect, and whenever they have the new moon participating in their ninth house, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because Capricorn will have the Virgo new moon participating in the ninth house, which will also be a gift, so that the Capricorn will get a gift, you know what I'm saying, based on if they shedded the proper things and things of that nature. Keep in mind that trine isn't always a beneficial aspect, but if essentially you are putting yourself in a positive space and you're saying, you're in a space where you can be satisfied with what you're accumulating and things of that nature, or I'm saying shedding, or you see like, based on the full moon phase, pardon me, you see what you could actually shed to put yourself in a beneficial space to then open more space for oneself, you know what I'm saying, whenever the new moon comes around, and then you accumulate new things. So essentially, the Capricorn has to shed the proper things to have the proper gift and things of that nature. Moving forward, the Sagittarius rising has the Aquarius in the third house, right? So essentially, the Sagittarius is having a sextile, which is a 60-degree angle, like I mentioned earlier. So it's seeing the opportunity in groups slash your environment that you're associated with. So essentially, do you see the opportunity that if you associate with this group, you feel satisfied, or do you feel unsatisfied being a part of this group in the environment? So like, it's kind of like that clicky energy. Like everybody has their certain individuals that they actually talk to and associate with, but certain individuals don't associate with other individuals. So you want to see what group is actually more beneficial to be a part of, or what groups do you actually shed from. Because the Sagittarius is in a space where they can adapt to any group, kind of like to the Gemini, but essentially it's in that opposite space of the Gemini. It's more of in a space like you can adapt to the vibration or the feeling or the vision of the group comparatively to the communication style being Gemini. Moving forward, the Scorpio rising is feeling either satisfied or unsatisfied, or fulfilled or unfulfilled in their personal life. Pardon me, more like their private life. And I like to say kind of personal life as in like your home. Like, does the Scorpio feel comfortable in the home? And at this point in time, they're in a learning process based on that 90-degree angle. So essentially, the Scorpio is learning to associate with privacy and be satisfied in that privacy. So essentially, those people that you bring into your home and those people that you feel are close to your heart, do you actually feel fulfilled with being around and things of that nature, or do you do you feel fulfilled with your family or your home and things of that nature, or who you choose to be a part of your family? And that's how you can break down the Aquarius energy for the Scorpio, because the Scorpio is also a fixed sign. So the Scorpio is in a consistent or stubborn space of being in their emotional space and kind of like realizing if they're a part of this certain emotional energy, you know what I'm saying, can they actually associate properly? Or do they feel comfortable associating even though they realize, you know what, these individuals might not be in the same space that I am, but essentially the Scorpio has to learn to actually benefit from that circumstance situation of associating with that group or things of that nature that is close to their heart. Moving forward, the Libra rising is having the fifth house being an Aquarius, and the fifth house is all about your expression. So essentially, the Libra has the gift to be fulfilled or unfulfilled in their expression. So at this point in time, based on who you're relating to, do you feel comfortable relating with these individuals, and do you feel satisfied relating with these individuals? Kind of what you want to keep on your mind. And keep in mind, the fifth house is like this kind of aspect. Either you feel fulfilled or unfulfilled with your own personal expression, because it's like, if you don't express oneself, nobody's going to express it for you. So essentially, you got to speak your piece to allow yourself to be in a space of peace and things of that nature, being that Libra rising. So I'm saying, do these individuals make you feel comfortable being in this space, or make you feel uncomfortable? Like, are you satisfied or fulfilled with these expression styles, or are you unfulfilled with these expressions? Moving forward, the Virgo rising is having the sixth house being an Aquarius, and the sixth house is all about your routines, patterns, and health. So essentially, for the Virgo being in the Aquarius space, Virgo rising being in the sixth house moon, you know what I'm saying, with Aquarius, you're misunderstanding being satisfied or unsatisfied with your group work, because the Virgo is always very critical, and essentially they're in a space where this critique is making you feel fulfilled based on your routine and pattern and what you're associated with, or the group that you're associated with, or like based on you being on this certain routine and pattern or working on this certain thing, you're a part of this group. And do you feel fulfilled working with this group, so to speak? And that's the question you can ask yourself over this next 2 weeks. And then moving forward, the Leo rising is having the seventh house being an Aquarius, and the seventh house is all about relationships. And keep in mind, you can either add on or oppose to your relationships based on this being this opposition space. So essentially, does the Leo rising ascendant in first house feel satisfied in your relationships? Like, who you're relating with, does it actually put you in a beneficial space or a non-beneficial space? That's pretty much what you got to keep in mind. And do you feel comfortable or do you feel fulfilled being in these relationships? Moving forward, the Cancer rising is having the eighth house being an Aquarius, and the eighth house is all about behind the scenes, transformation, and secrets, right? So essentially, the Cancer is in a space where they're in that misunderstanding space, being that in conjunction. So they're misunderstanding being satisfied behind the scenes or with their secrets that they're associated with. So like the Cancer likes to kind of wear their heart on the sleeve, and they don't really like to have things happen behind the scenes and be more secretive. But essentially, them being that water sign, they need to be in a space where they can comprehend that either I feel fulfilled with what I got going on behind the scenes, and other people don't all know, you know what I'm saying, or they're not actually aware of why I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve this way, or they're in a space where I'm unfulfilled. And it's like whatever I'm wearing on with my heart on my sleeve, being that Cancer, you know what I'm saying, these are actually the accumulations that I've accumulated to put me in this space of wearing my heart on my sleeve this way. So essentially, you feel satisfied or unsatisfied with whatever transformation you're going through or whatever secret you actually are utilizing to put you in this space based on how you associate. Then moving forward, the Gemini rising is having the ninth house being an Aquarius, excuse me. Yeah, and this ninth house is all about the experience, the morality, and the knowledge and wisdom, right? So that's what the ninth house is all about. So essentially, the Gemini is having the gift to associate their morality or their experience or the way that they travel internally or externally in the mind, you know what I'm saying? And keep in mind, the Gemini can kind of travel within their own mind, or they could travel with other people within their mind. You know what I'm saying? Because the Gemini is kind of like a mind reader in this space that, like, they're able to actually see what's on other people's mind, and that's the reason why they're able to be so relative and adapt to communication styles. So essentially, they're having this gift to associate and experience at this point in time, being that Gemini rising. And do you feel fulfilled or unfulfilled with this experience? That's what you want to keep on your mind, being that Gemini rising. Moving forward, the Taurus rising, first house and ascendant, is having the 10th house being an Aquarius. And the 10th house is a square to Taurus first house. You know what I'm saying? Aquarius in the 10th house is learning to be satisfied with your status or learning to be fulfilled or unfulfilled with what you got going on based on your career. So essentially, the Taurus is either feeling fulfilled in their career or they're feeling unfulfilled. Like, are you actually benefiting from this aspect? And can you actually see value in this career? And based on you being in this association to this career, can you see yourself actually working with it over this next 2 weeks and seeing what to actually shed to put yourself in a more beneficial space? I'm saying that's kind of what you want to keep your mind on, even if you are fulfilled in this space. Then moving forward, the Aries rising is having the 11th house being an Aquarius, and the 11th house is all about your associations, your group, and your public persona. So essentially, based on Aries being a sextile to the Aquarius, they're seeing the opportunity to be fulfilled or unfulfilled with their associates or this group that they're working with. So essentially, Aries being this individual, do you actually feel comfortable being your own individual self, and do you feel satisfied in this group that is also a part of this character that you're a part of, and things of that nature? I'm saying, based on this next 2 weeks, you actually want to see who or what to shed in this group to actually put yourself in a more beneficial state. And last but not least, the Pisces rising is either feeling satisfied or unsatisfied in their group dream, or they're associating a dream that they're fulfilled with. So at this point in time, I'm saying the teamwork makes the dream work, and that's kind of what you want to keep on your mind, being this Pisces rising. With the groups that I'm working with being this Pisces rising, are you in a space that you can actually achieve your dream and you can actually see yourself reaching far, you know what I'm saying, and see the new levels to this association and things of that nature based on the Aquarius energy. So essentially, you want to see what you need to shed to actually put yourself in a more beneficial state to achieve your dream. So yeah, since we got all the rising signs broken down, we also got all the alignments broken down. Now I can kind of just go ahead and get into it and kick game. So it's like over these next 2 weeks, you kind of want to keep your mind on what house is the moon in, right? So we're going to have this moon in Pisces coming up, you know what I'm saying? Right now it's cusping, you know what I'm saying? So 28, 29, 0, 1, and 2 degrees is all the cusp degrees, right? So essentially at this point in time, we're in this, I think, 1 to 2 degrees of Pisces, right? So we're in a space where we're cusping into Pisces from Aquarius. So you want to keep your mind on and keep your eye on where the actual degree is participating and what sign that the actual moon is participating in. I'm saying to be able to analyze what aspect you need to shed. So perfect example, I'm Leo rising, right? So whenever the moon enters Pisces into my 8th house at that certain degree that it moves into it, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 2 degrees or something like that for me. You know what I'm saying? So at this point in time, it's going to be in a space where I need to see what I need to value, you know what I'm saying, or shared values that I'm associating with, and see what do I actually need to shed based on what I got going on behind the scenes into a space where my shared values are actually more beneficial. So that's a perfect example of it. And then it's going to go ahead and move into the ninth house whenever we have the moon in Aries, you know what I'm saying? So being that Leo rising, I'm going to have to see, okay, what are the aspects of my experience that I need to shed, or this individual experience that I can either benefit or be non-beneficial from, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature, and see what are these certain aspects of my character that I need to shed to actually put myself in a more beneficial experience and create more space to actually have these new details be experienced based on, you know what I'm saying, whenever the moon participates in the second house. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of just putting Leo rising on the forefront so y'all can actually see over these next 2 weeks how I personally evolve, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature, and how I personally shed and things of that nature. You're going to be able to see over these next 2 weeks in my personal life. So yeah, that's like a perfect example of it. So pretty much you want to keep your eye on what house is your moon in, and that will let you know what area of life you're going to be shedding, and to actually create space to be in a more beneficial state. So yeah, much love and holla back, and peace and love if you believe in all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding space for everybody that watched this video after the live, and shout out to everybody that participated within the live video and things of that nature. And the cash apps in my description. And if you wanted to go ahead and get a reading and things of that nature, that'd be the method of payment and things like that. So I have my email in the description. It's CONSCIOUS1347. If you were looking to get any kind of reading, I'm saying, or had any kind of questions about any of the lives that I do and things of that nature. And if you just had any personal questions that you wanted to kind of get answered and things of that nature, and maybe be in a space where could I actually benefit from my circumstance situation based on the question I'm asking and things like that. So yeah, like I say, keeping oh dang, I messed my little motto up. But keep in tune with the movement you need to be in tune with. You know what I'm saying, peace and love if you believe in all that. Stay safe or stay dangerous, whatever's necessary. Peace and love if you believe in all that. Like I said, you know what I'm saying, salute all.